All right, what's up, y'all? Cajun Libertarian here. Here we are again. Let me fix my hat real quick here. It's always backwards on screen. I am your host, the Cajun Libertarian. Thank y'all for joining us again. We have an awesome show tonight. We'll knock out the announcements real quick and then get right to it. So, if you haven't joined the Libertarian Party Seafood Caucus, you need to do that now. We are pushing to 1,000 members in barely over a week. So do that. Seafood Caucus for the win, no question. We, like I said during the Spike intro, we eclipsed our money for Tunica in 3 episodes. I was looking for $400 and we are well over that already. So anything that you donate tonight will go to the gas and food. And then we are also going to be doing a fundraiser drive for canned goods and all of that stuff as well to give to a rehabilitative ministry here in Jackson, Mississippi for that, and homeless shelters as well. So there's that. You can find me on Stripe, which is on Clubhouse. We will be dropping the Anchor stuff soon. Let's see. We got the website up. It's almost complete. I'll give you all that information ASAP. And so I'm very excited. We have Isabella Riley coming on tonight. She has a huge following. She's incredibly intelligent, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So with that being said, as we always say, let's bring her on. Isabella, what's up?
Not much. How are you? You said smart, intelligent. I'm like, I don't know about that. Women aren't that smart and intelligent, but I appreciate the kind words.
Oh, you're very welcome. I think you're playing it down, but that's all right.
You're not on Twitter a lot, so you don't see all my tweets.
Yeah, we did just them. Yeah, we did just talk about I have seen several of your tweets, but yeah, no, I'm terrible at Twitter, just in case y'all didn't know. FYI. I'm terrible at all this, but I have great guests like Isabella.
It's so easy. Twitter's like one big group chat, honestly. It's like one big group chat of people just chatting and people that like each other interact and like each other's tweets. I think it's the most simple. It's by far the most simple platform.
Yeah, you were saying that you will literally just tweet like everything that comes to mind, right?
Yes. Yeah. Like I actually just tweeted not too long ago, just a random thought as I'm drinking my root beer here. So I love soda. I drink way too much soda. It's a problem. I drink way more root beer than I do water. It's fine. But I was just thinking, it's so disgusting. Like if you were to go to a restaurant and you were to order soda, I always have to say no ice because I don't want ice to water down my soda. It's disgusting. So I just tweeted, I'm like, well, I think it's disgusting how people put ice cubes that are just water to water down their other beverages. I just tweeted that. Like that, a random thought has nothing to do with politics. That's an example. I just tweet random things that come to my head. So just do it. Especially if you're a libertarian podcaster, you have plenty to bitch about all the time.
That's true. We'll start with it. I might even tweet this one out just to be combative. I see that you held an A&W root beer up there. What is going on in the world?
Oh, this is actually not my favorite type of root beer. Actually, I have a new favorite type. Stewart's. It's like a new thing. I've never even heard of it before. But I like Barks for like basic bitch. Go to a gas station. What kind of root beer are you getting? Why? What kind of root beer do you like? No one likes root beer, so I'm just happy that you like it. I love cream soda too. I go back and forth.
Barks root beer, Barks cream soda, and Barks red cream soda are 3 of my top favorite drinks of all time.
Red cream soda? I've never heard of that.
Really? Oh, yeah. You got to try it.
Okay, so you like Barks too. Barks has more of a kick to it. When you like take a first sip of soda and you're kind of like, oh, Barks really kicks you in the throat every time. So
that's my favorite part.
Yeah.
I guess that's why I like spicy food so much. Malik, I know you're watching. I hope you drink Barks root beer. Maybe we'll have something in common.
Sponsor us, Barks.
Yeah, sponsor. Barks root beer. The best root beer on the planet. Give me money.
I'll have to check out their red cream soda, you said?
Yeah, there's several different brands of red cream soda, but wow, I'm surprised.
The communist cream soda.
That's a great analogy.
Okay.
It's still yummy. Unlike communism.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yummy. That's just very hungry and
deadly. I'm curious because I never go on Facebook and you don't tweet. So I actually am just realizing that I don't really know. Usually I have some idea because I see people ranting on Twitter, like where they lean and stuff. So I have are you more of a right or left leaning libertarian?
Okay, so I love this question because I think it has so many layers to it. there's some subjects that I'm very more right-leaning libertarian. There's some subjects that I'm very more left-leaning libertarian. I would say overall, I'm probably mostly centered with a right lean.
Yes. Oh yeah, same. I don't like leftists, but yeah, that's interesting. I just had no idea because I've heard there's like some drama within the libertarian, like Twitter people. I don't even know it because I started Twitter after I think they solved it. But so I don't even know, like everyone talks about these woke libertarians. I don't know who they are. I know like Nick something. He was the chair.
Farwalk.
Yeah, whatever. He debated Dave Smith. His name is relevant because I don't remember it. But I don't know who they are. But yeah, okay. So what issues do you think you align more? Sorry, I'm like interviewing you now.
No, you're good.
I will speak when spoken to as a woman. So
there it is. All right. Well, I want to get into some of that, but I do want to add. We were talking, so I find this hilarious that you just text me like you're like, oh my god, I live in New York City and there's people blasting music in my apartment building. The bass is rattling the walls, and so I had to naturally welcome you to my TED Talk about how much I cannot stand your governor and your freaking mayor, who I will stop right there because I'll get in trouble on the internet.
Listen, the worst part about Cuomo, it's not the nursing home deaths. It's not the sexual assault allegations. It's the nipple piercings by far. I'm kidding. That's a joke. He has nipple piercings.
I thought that was a joke.
No, I mean, you see them through his shirt. Like, what else are those?
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was a joke. I'm thinking to myself, no way this dude has nipple piercings.
I was thinking that maybe he did it for some gay pride parade to like pander to them. Because he had like some profile picture a while back of him at a gay pride parades. And I could so see like, you know, the woke leftists being like, oh, I'm going to appeal to the gay people. Let me pierce my nipples and go to a gay pride parade, which he would never want to go to, you know?
No, of course not.
So it's like, it's all fake and phony. But I don't know, that's literally, there's no like basis off that. That's my intuition. I have a weird intuition with things, but I don't have any of that. I came up with that scenario in my head. So I don't know if that's really what happened. I might be spreading some fake news, but I could picture that happening.
I feel like we're good. We can run with it.
Yeah. So what are your issues? I mean, there's so many issues with Cuomo. I mean, the fact that he, like Fauci now, who's a lot of stuff's coming out about Fauci today, who's writing a book.
Yay.
Yeah, freaking Cuomo. I'm like, you're kidding. That Cuomo wrote a book on his leadership role in the coronavirus pandemic. It's almost as if it's like a satirical skit, like the Babylon Bee. Yeah. Cuomo writes a book on his leadership but it's like actually happening. So it's crazy. I mean, it happened. I saw it at Walmart one time. I was like, there he is. Mr. Nipple Piercings.
Yeah. I don't like the dude because he just sucks. But it's his arrogance that just drives me up the wall. And
and the arrogance of the media, mainstream media, the corporate press, as Michael Malice has coined that phrase, that they just take cover for him. You know, when his brother Chris Cuomo would have him on the show, they would just like laugh and ha ha ha. It's so phony, and these fake journalists pretend like they're the ones holding people in power accountable when, I mean, I guess you were really on top of Donald Trump, which is good if only you applied the same amount of pressure to Democrats. But I mean, he is the epitome of arrogant, truthfully.
Yeah. Look, okay. So I will say I probably had somewhat of a bias against certain politicians. Cuomo's at the helm. Like, no kidding. I give Biden a pass.
Newsom.
Do what?
Newsom too. Newsom seems so slimy. Slime like Newsom, he's like a reptile. He's a reptile. I think he's a reptile.
He might be.
Maybe Alex Jones knows more about that. But yeah, no, I agree. I think Newsom. Oh yeah, and then what's her freaking name?
Whitmer.
Oh, the wicked witch of the West. Like she is. Wait, is that your state?
No, I'm in Mississippi.
Okay. Oh yeah, good. But yeah, the wicked witch.
Yeah, those are my top 3 of politicians that I could start with I'll say it. They kicked me off. We could start with we can reinstate our tar and feather policies with those 3 right there, in my personal opinion.
Yes, we might use the Second Amendment to do that, but no, I agree. Those 3 are definitely the worst. And what's funny is De Blasio. He's so bad that Cuomo even like gets mad at him, because De Blasio would be so against, like when all the riots are happening, De Blasio would be so like working against the cops, which I'm not pro cop. I think that cops definitely abuse their power, but when riots are burning down businesses and stuff and causing mayhem, there is an argument to protect people's private property from these riots. which a lot of these states would not allow you. So they're telling you that cops are the only ones that can protect you, and telling their cops that they can't protect your property. And then you're just in this never ending cycle where you're actually not getting what we're supposed to be getting out of the cops. So it's really annoying. But yeah, Cuomo was even annoyed with de Blasio for that. So de Blasio is even more, like de Blasio, I think, is a self-proclaimed communist.
Wow.
And have you seen his daughter?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God. I wish, I don't know if you can, if you could just look up at any point, de Blasio's daughter's mugshot, you will be scared.
Like mugshot from jail?
Yes. She was, I'm pretty sure she was arrested as a rioter. She looks kind of like Lori Lightfoot, but like on way more drugs. It's very scary.
How is that possible?
It's so crazy. I can't believe it's his daughter. Like, I don't know. I wish you knew what I was talking about right now, so you could join in and being shocked. But
I'm shocked.
No, you won't. You won't understand until you see it.
Oh, I'm looking it up in just a little bit.
Oh,
for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'll look it up right now.
Yeah.
I'll do it on air live.
Good. Live reaction.
Lightfoot looks like a black Beetlejuice to me.
Oh my God, my dad says that all the time. Beetlejuice, that's
really?
what we call it. Yes, swear to God.
De Blasio daughter. That's like the second thing that pops up. Oh, okay. I didn't know. Wow.
He's not racist, okay? If that's what you're getting at.
Mugshot. No, I just didn't know he had a daughter of color.
You mean
I'm way out of the loop.
A birthing person who's his daughter of color.
Oh, I was supposed to be politically correct. I'm sorry. Wow.
Yeah, you gotta keep up with the terms. Did you find it? Yes. So scary.
That's rough.
Like, imagine if this was like Donald Trump's like child's mugshot. Like, imagine, like, his children are so polished. I mean, they freaking have to be. But imagine like how the media would go after them. I mean, the unequal treatment is insane, which is why you should not even trust a shred of them, which is something that annoys me. Like, most of my friends are conservatives and Republicans, and my friends that are conservatives and Republicans, they really can't stand, the Republicans, the weak rhinos that will be weak in their messaging. They won't stand for any principles because God forbid, they don't want the New York Times to write something bad about them. They want to try to stay on their good side, even though they still aren't on their good side. It's like you're trying to work with people that hate you no matter what. They're never always. So yeah, CNN and MSNBC likes people like Mitt Romney and Liz Cheney. You want to know why? Because they're working against the Republican Party. So like, that's like the biggest indicator for me if Republicans bad is if CNN has them on to talk crap about Republicans and be like, I'm the good Republican that they all hate. Like, I much prefer Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't even know the crazy stuff she said years ago. I haven't even looked into it. I don't care. I care about what she's doing now. I don't care what she posted years ago. I didn't even look into it because I don't even care. I don't even know what it's about. I don't even know. But what I like about her and what her and Matt Gaetz do is they stand up to the leadership in their party. They really did get Liz Cheney to say, like, they were so loud about it. They don't care. I've actually met Matt Gaetz a couple of times in person, and he does not care. Like, he literally is like, I hate everyone in Congress. They're all like corrupt. I don't like it. Like, they want to shake it down, and they hold Kevin McCarthy accountable, who is the leader of their of the freaking. Yeah, he's the House Minority Leader. So they're actually, I don't care if she said crazy things a couple of years ago, or, they've had controversial stuff in the past. I like that they're willing to stand up against the leadership in their own party for what they believe to be American first principles. I like that. I think the best alliance, which is between, as a libertarian, kind of like the Rothbard and Buchanan strategy, appealing to populism, whereas let's all align and form an alliance against the elite, the establishment. That, I think, is a winning message.
Yeah, I would say every libertarian is on board with going against the establishment. That's an easy one.
And that's starting in the Republican Party ever since Trump. They're rejecting the Bushes and the Cheneys and the establishment, So, and the Romneys, all these people that Trump really did transform the party. Also made it more popular to be anti-war. That wasn't really a thing before. And now you hear bring the troops home. The populist Republicans don't want to spend our money. One of my good friends, Gavin Wax, who's the president of the New York Young Republicans Club, he's like, I don't want foreign aid going to any countries. When he talks about the Israeli, like all that, I don't even tweet about that stuff. I don't even care. I literally don't care. I'm like, I don't want to get foreign aid. I don't care what's going on there. That's how I feel. he tweets more about it, but he's like, we should not be giving them $1. Anyone, not Israel singled out or only Israel, no one. And that's a trend in the Republican Party now, is they want to keep their resources. If they're gonna, I mean, I'm against sending my resource to even my neighbor against my will, but at least they're saying we should not be doing it to other countries. I mean, it just makes no sense.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's spot on. I actually tweeted about the Israel-Palestine thing. I'll say it's very similar to yours. Mine is the fact that I can't control what happens over there. There's nothing I can do about what's happening in the Middle East. I've got people that are in my backyard that need help. They need the help that we're trying to give people from the bottom up. So I'm going to focus all my attention on them. And what happens in the Middle East, I hope that works out. I don't want that stuff happening, but at the same time, I have no control over that.
Yeah, actually, the only thing I tweeted, and I didn't even mention the words Israel or Palestine, nothing. All I tweeted was because I was hearing about a situation where Palestinians were mad that they were being evicted because they didn't pay rent. So all I said, why would you be mad to get evicted if you didn't pay rent? What's the point of paying rent then? And then I had someone reply, I usually love your tweets, but now that I know you're an Israeli shill, I have to unfollow you. And it's funny because I actually got a DM the other day saying, oh, you're an anti-Israeli shill. I'm like, pick one, guys.
Yeah,
which one am I? Like, that's how you're doing it right, is when you get criticisms from both sides accusing. I've literally never even tweeted the word Israel. Like, not even once. That's all ridiculous. Like, not once. Yeah. So
I didn't either. I said the word overseas.
Yeah, I just said overseas. You're a shill for the overseas, I guess.
I guess so. I don't know. Who cares? That stuff doesn't concern me. We have real issues here in this country that our resources need to go to.
Exactly. I've actually seen some libertarians, maybe these are the more woke libertarians, that will criticize me when I say America first. And they're like, that's appealing to identity politics and xenophobia. I'm like, no, it's just, I still don't want my resources being given to other people. But at least can we agree that it shouldn't not be going to countries around the globe, that if we're going to do anything, keep our resources here. We don't need to have our military in other countries. I'd rather have our military defend our borders. Why do we have to be in all these other countries? That's something I do want. I want to be able to control who's coming in out of the country. That's something that libertarians disagree with me on. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I hate the woke libertarians when they will call people like Tom Woods and Dave Smith Nazis. They're exactly just like leftists. Like they called Ron Paul. I've seen some of them call Ron Paul anti-Semitic Nazi. Ron Paul.
I hate the freaking Nazi crap that just gets thrown around. Nazi and racist gets thrown around.
Everything. It's like, so you're just left. You're making no argument. It's boring, and it's when you say that to everyone, then when you're actually calling a Nazi, no one's going to believe you. It's kind of like the fact that there's so many sexual assault allegations coming out with all the time. I always feel so terrible for men because I'm like, you could have a girl come forward at any time, and even if it's you have due process, you're innocent until proven guilty, which I reminded people and Republicans of during Cuomo's when he had 1,000 sexual assault allegations coming out against him. I was like, this is covering up for the freaking nursing home deaths. Those are what we should be focusing on. He's innocent until proven guilty. I don't care about these allegations until they're proven true, which, again, how do you even prove that? But what was my point? So it's now whenever I hear like a sexual harassment claim, I'm like, yeah, right. Because we hear it all the time and they're always like shown to be false. So I just naturally am inclined to not believe the woman. So it ends up hurting actual victims of sexual assault and rape. And it's detrimental to the real victims because they're blending everything. You'll hear girls say, a guy tried to kiss me, sexual assault. Okay. I mean, they'll call it rape. I've even seen girls call that rape. In college, they'll get too drunk. They hook up with a guy. And she seeming like she wanted it. She wakes up, she regrets it. Now it's rape. Or a girl cheats on her boyfriend. Now it's rape. It's just disgusting. And it's made me never, not saying I would never believe a girl. It makes me when I don't know the people and I see it on TV. And it's especially in terms of trying to take down a powerful figure. I'm like, and I also do believe that girls can avoid these situations. Now, I'm sure if I were to be walking down the street and someone were to grab me, that's not my fault. But I never put myself in situations in college where I would have myself alone in a room with a guy that I did not feel comfortable because I probably is telling the guy that I would want to do, like, not saying that gives him the okay to try to do something, but I don't want to lead him down the path of thinking that at all. You know what I mean? So think ahead.
Yeah,
Take some
totally
personal
agree.
responsibility, women.
We do the same thing. I actually me and my wife were talking about that whole situation with Mike Pence, and no, I'm not a Trump guy or a Pence guy, but I respect the fact that he wouldn't have dinner with anybody, or he wouldn't be alone with another woman. And he got bashed for that. That's
It makes sense in today's
absurd.
climate. I know my dad will say, I just remember like being in public as a kid or something, and he'd always say, today's climate, like I would feel weird as a father, like hugging my like daughter's friends. Just like I don't even want to be like, I'm just so scared of everything. I don't even want to have any thoughts or have any insinuations. I remember he said one time, because I used to dance when I was like 5 years old, and he was parked outside waiting to pick me up. And like the dance, one of the people that worked there was like, "Are you a creepy guy watching them dance?" And he was like, "No, I'm her freaking dad waiting to pick her up. Like I just got back from work, whatever." But it's so like hypersensitive to where just the insinuation that every guy is a creep. If I was a guy, I would want to stay away from women so much. I'd be so scared.
Yeah.
It could ruin your life.
I feel that because I help run a pest control company. I have to go in these apartments and houses all day, and most of the time it's women at home, and I'm so nervous that something's going to happen. I'm going to get accused of something. I'm like, I just don't ever want to be in this position. Not at all, not once. And it is because of the climate of our atmosphere.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually really tough. Something I can't say about feminists is they're always complaining and bitching about, oh, things aren't equal. And I've always said, I've been a girl my whole life. I feel like it's only given me privileges. Obviously, there's privileges that come with being a man, and then that come with being a woman. I would much rather be a woman. It's only given me privileges with everything. And especially this. I mean, this is not something I have to really worry about, because like if a guy were to say, oh, this girl sexually assaulted me, or like if there's like an older female teacher with a younger guy, the guys are like, good job. Like no one's like thinking like, oh, he was preyed upon, but if it's an older teacher with a young girl that's underage, it's a whole different story for valid reasons. But I don't know. It's just interesting. And I think, maybe I'm a meninist.
What was that? Why does your Twitter bio say anti-feminist? Is this part of that?
So basically the reason I call myself that, I always say the feminists, I don't even say the radical feminists. I say that they're rabid feminists, because they truly act like they're rabid animals. And the reason I talk about them so much is because on TikTok, which is where I started posting political TikTok videos December 2020, that's like how I started. Once I got banned, I got on Instagram, and then I started tweeting after CPAC and stuff. So that's kind of my growth from there. But all of the majority of my hate comments are from feminists, and something I love to do is just, you can like respond to hate like comments with a video. So I just like to respond to their hate comments. I'll pick like the worst ones, troll them, use their logic against them, just like showcase how dumb they are and how insane they are. So I just was like, okay, well, you crazy rabid feminists turned me into the anti-feminist monster I am today, because they kept attacking me, which I loved. It gave me great content ideas. That's why I constantly talk about it. And the stuff does well. People hate feminists.
Yeah. Today's modern feminist is not what it's supposed to be. It really isn't feminism anymore. It's really just
equality at all. Right.
No.
Yeah, they hate men. They're jealous that men they've typically held all these positions of power in the United States and around the world. So they're mad at them for it, but at the same time, they're trying to take those positions of power. So I really see it as a power struggle. I see it as the same thing with like Black Lives Matter, thinking that white people have held positions of power. They're mad at them for it, but that they're also trying to take over those positions of power. So it's just a power struggle I see.
Yeah, it's the same old political theater we've been going through for decades, which is why we're in the issue that we're in now, is because it's all just a big show.
Yeah, but what I think is gross. So why would anyone want to have power? I have zero interest in ruling over someone else's life. I want you to live your life however you want to live it, as long as it doesn't hurt me, affect me, cost me, affect someone else. As long as you keep doing you could do whatever you wanted to do. You could kill yourself. You could do whatever I don't care. That's how I feel. I have no interest in telling other people what to do. See, I don't at all. I feel uncomfortable. I don't like to tell people what to do.
I mean, that's basically the libertarian value system there, is don't hurt people and don't take their stuff. So in your
principle.
Yeah, in your bio it says paleo libertarian. So I had some people ask, and I have that definition is so fluid. Why don't you tell everybody what to you paleo-libertarian means?
So I put that in my bio specifically to differentiate myself from the woke Lulberg libertarians, the leftist libertarians, because so I view paleo-libertarian as in ism as being like formed by Murray Rothbard. See, I don't even know if it's officially like the daddy of paleo-libertarianism, but I really love Rothbard. I started reading him not like only a year ago. I didn't even know who he was. I knew Ludwig von Mises beforehand. I actually named one of my guinea pigs after him, little Ludwig.
Nice.
He's cutie. But yeah, I mean, basically, how I look at it, I hate everything woke. So when woke left libertarians will say mass incarceration is a problem because they're just trying to lock up Black people and whatever, men of color, whatever, which that's maybe how it started. But the way I see it is it's not an issue of race. It's an issue of we're locking human beings in cages for doing what? Smoke, like non-violent, victimless crimes. That's my problem, that there's human beings in cages. Not that there's Black human beings in cages, that there's humans. That's it. So I look at, I'm an extreme radical individualist. Just because someone else is a woman, I tend to get along way better with guys. I don't really think like girls. I'm not, I swear, I don't even know a guy that's less emotional than me. I'm not emotional whatsoever. So I don't identify with girls. I like girly stuff, but just because someone is also a girl doesn't mean that we're similar. That does, or that we're very alike. I'm more alike with a lot of my guy friends and my girlfriends. So I completely reject identity politics, like ultra capitalism. I'm almost an anarchist. I'm almost an ANCAP. So I like dance on the edge. I don't know. I've been watching a lot of lately. Tom Woods, Dave Smith, Michael Malice, which, I'm sure you're aware of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've never heard a thing any of them have ever said that I disagree with, and I watch them, all their old stuff I try to catch up on, and their new stuff I watch all of it. Whoever's on their shows, I watch it. So I don't know. But the thing is, I do see a benefit in having a border wall, just because I do want to control who's coming in and out of the country. You also have to realize that just because we would maybe, let's say we had a perfect free market, no government solution here, that doesn't mean that other countries are going to do the same. So I kind of see it as I want to treat other countries how they treat us. So if they're going to screw us, I think that they shouldn't just be able to keep screwing us. Just because we live a certain way doesn't mean that they're going to respect it, So I still need to work out those issues, but yeah, I don't know. Where do you have you heard the term paleo-libertarian? I'm sure you have, but you agree with it? I've heard mixed things.
So here's my thing is that I hate labels.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. I think, like I said before, there's some issues that I'm going to be right-leaning libertarian on. There's some issues I'm going to be left-leaning libertarian on. So like me and David fight. We had this conversation last week, quite literally. And I'm like, dude, I get the paleo-libertarian thing, on some stuff, I can get on board with that. But if it's going to be viewed as homophobic and racist and all that, well, I don't want to be attached to that. So I just say man, labels.
I'm not racist. I'm not homophobic. You can call me what you want. Yeah. I'm not that. So it's fine. I know what you mean with the labels thing too. This is an internal struggle I've had because I don't like all the labels in my bio, but as someone that was starting an account, trying to grow it, I want people, if they go to my account, because they don't know who I am, I want to quickly tell them, these are the main things I'm going to talk about. So and I used to have libertarian, and I changed it to paleo-libertarian because I was getting accused of being a Lulberg, and I was like, okay, I'm not a Lulberg. Look at my tweets. But people just thought since I had libertarian in my bio that I was, because a lot of conservatives associate all libertarians as being simps for corporations, and that's it, and they're woke, and that's not me whatsoever. So I only put that just to differentiate myself from the woke libertarians. But I agree, all these labels being so specific, who cares? Can't I just say I'm queer, which means anything? That's what they do with the LGBTQ. Queers mean anything.
I don't know. I did find out that so I had Ashley Shade on a few weeks ago, and she helped me out a bunch because I stumbled all the way through what you're talking about right now. And so she gave me the GSM thing, and I'm like, oh my God, thank you. I mean,
she woman-splained to you.
Yeah, she gave me look, I love the more simple stuff because I got a jar of snakes up here. Just
I put a new thing in my bio, liberty extremist, which I think that's fair. That's how liberty extremist.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
I agree with that. I think that's very simple. But I'm not sure. Again, I wanted to the paleo thing I wanted to add because I don't think the government should be mandating these values, but I do personally value the nuclear family, traditional American values. I don't care if you're doing stuff that's like gross and whatever and like very liberal and whatever, flamboyant. I don't care, but it's not my preference. So it's kind of like, that's where I get along with a lot of conservatives because they tend to like the nuclear family and the traditional marriage and the family structure, which I find very important. However, I'll disagree with them because they think that there should be tax incentives for these families, which I don't think it's the government's role to tell us what's the best family structure. Because maybe they'll change their mind one day and say, you know what?
That's right.
Maybe we should do multiple marriages, with 5 parents. That's the only way to have, like, they could, as soon as you grant the government this power, just because I tweeted one time, and I think it's so true, that most Americans would be fine with having a dictator as long as it's their own preferred dictator.
That's
so
right.
as long as they agree with them, they're fine with them being an authoritarian and forcing everyone else to live that way. I'm not that way. I don't want everyone else to be forced to live the way I want to live. I just want to be left alone. But I don't want to force my principles and my just preferences on other people. I genuinely, even if I don't like someone, I want them to succeed. I want them to do what makes them happy. I genuinely want that for them. I'm not like an emotional person. Like, I'm not vindictive. I don't really care. I just want people to do what makes them happy, and I just want to be left alone.
No, yeah, and that's a great point because I was seeing, I told you I'm in Clubhouse all day. It's kind of ridiculous, but there was
You're one of those that's always in a room. I'm like, how are you still in there?
yeah. Well, my work, I drive all over the state, so I mean, instead of listening to radio or the
that
same,
makes so much sense. Yes, yeah.
just in Clubhouse
You
talk.
can be productive as you're driving. You can do
Yep.
something productive for your career, your networking. I would totally do that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes it really advantageous because I don't have a boss that stands there.
Right.
He actually lives 4 hours away from me. So
Perfect. The further the better.
yeah, it is very good. I love it. But there was a lady from Alaska that I'd never seen in there before today. And she's I think her little handle said Miss Libertarian. I loved it. But she said something I've been talking about for so long. And it's like, you can disagree with people morally, but that doesn't mean there should be a law against it. Right.
Right.
And I think we lose sight of that all the time.
Yes. I mean, it's so annoying. The right and the left both do this. A big disagreement I have with my friends on the right is they think, it's so crazy to me, they think the government should ban porn. And then I say, no, they shouldn't. And then they're like, oh, so you're pro porn. I'm like, no, I actually am so not. Like, not at all. I think it's gross, not ventured out into that stuff. And then they'll be like, oh, well, Pornhub helps aids human sex trafficking. I'm like, yeah, that's illegal. Like, that should be stopped.
It's already illegal.
Right. It's already illegal. If Chipotle was helping human sex trafficking, it should be stopped. That doesn't mean all freaking Mexican restaurants need to be closed down. Right. But I mean that the targeted illegal acts. I think that anything that is between consenting legal age of parties that they both agree to it, consensual capitalism, then that's fine. But obviously it's different than holding people, especially underage children, against their will and selling them as sex slaves. That's very different than someone agreeing to do porn.
Right. Yeah. That's not even in the same universe. No, it's not even the same. That's a big deal for me. Absolutely. And Lord, my wife and I have been big advocates against child sex trafficking or human trafficking in general for a long time. And then all of a sudden MSM tried to lump human trafficking in with, like, if you say anything about human trafficking, you're just a QAnon. And I'm like, we've been doing this well before QAnon was ever created. This is ridiculous.
And that's why I don't care if people were to call me a homophobic or racist for whatever, calling myself a paleo-libertarian, because I know that's not what paleo-libertarian means. I know that's not what I am. And they're going to keep attacking you. So don't hold back on your extreme beliefs because they're going to attack you no matter what,
Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay, you want to call me racist? Go ahead, call me racist. I'm not. This is how I feel. You can either point out something or criticize me, whether it's like my appearance or what I talk about, and it's either true, and I would be like, yeah, that's true, maybe I should work on that, or it's not true, and why would that bother me? It's literally not true,
Yeah.
Don't let them write your story for you.
Yeah. No, that's a hard agree right there. I love that part. I do have to ask you, how many guinea pigs you got?
So I have a animal rescue farm. So I have 22 guinea pigs, 17 in my bedroom. But they're actually in my home. So I live in Connecticut. I go back and forth between New York City and Connecticut. So they're not in my New York City apartment, but my bedroom at home has 17 guinea pigs in there. But we're having a small animal center built. I have over 200 animals. I got a whole farm. So, and guess what? Vegan farm. So we have a lot of liberals that come volunteer. You actually had a volunteer come on with a fanny pack that said, "Shout your abortion." She's nice. So it's just a weird thing. Like, you're champion, like, it's just a weird thing to champion. Like, that's your issue. Like, could you at least say, you know what? I think that when women get into tough situations, which I still don't think it's a justification to murder a child, but at least it's better than saying we should celebrate abortions, right? Like, it's insanity that we're in today. But abortion is another kind of a tough issue for libertarians, because for me, if I'm not going to say I'm an anarchist, I think the first rule of government is to protect life. Life precedes liberty. You don't have the liberty to go murder someone, take away their life, because it's you exercising your liberty. Life precedes liberty. So the life of the child, the unborn baby, and I don't even like to say, oh, I think life starts at conception. I know it does. It's a scientific fact. It has a unique genetic code. It's a scientific fact. That's just how it is. So that's the only way to be logically consistent. So I know life starts at conception, and it just doesn't make sense. The mother should not have the liberty to kill another life. I'm sorry. So that's the thing where libertarian, and I've talked about this on other libertarian podcasts. It's, what would you do? Like, because there's some people that will say, you know, I wouldn't punish the mom. I would punish the doctor. And in my head, I'm like, well, if we're agreeing that it's murder, the mother is the one that hired the hitman. So if we're saying it's murder and murder should be illegal and you should be punished for murder. So if we're agreeing that you're killing a life for abortion and that's murder, and the punishment for murder should be this, the mother should be the first one punished to be logically consistent. So it's a tricky situation, but at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know. It's a tough situation. It would never happen. I'm just saying, we're gonna have people. If the one type of person that we should have in prison is people that murder other people.
Yeah. Our prisons are filled with drug addicts and not pedophiles and murderers. But I'm
So
huge.
stupid.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. Like, we have
They let out pedophiles and like murderers for COVID to stop the spread of COVID, as they're trying to get like Roger Stone in prison, and it's like Paul Manafort's like still in prison and all these things, and it's just so ridiculous. I mean, the people that they would let out, like there was even instances of convicts that were let out for COVID that murdered someone. Like, they just did it again. Like, you just couldn't not murder someone for like a little bit of time.
Yeah, no, I mean, and some of that has to do with mental health, but and everybody knows that follows me for any time. I am pro-life. I am not for abortion, but I fully understand very well through some discussions with people that are much more informed than I am, and people like you and a lot of other people, that the last thing I want is the government to get involved, because they exasperate the situation. So I don't want more laws. I want less dead babies. And if the government's involved, we've just got more dead people and incarcerated people. So there's ways that we can reduce the abortion rate in our country.
Culturally, kind of, talk, and that's where the free market really does go in. Is, it's become a trendy thing in the feminist movement of modern day feminism to say, shout your abortion. I'm so happy that I was able to exercise my right. There was some like female famous person. I don't follow Hollywood. I don't watch movies. It's all stupid. I don't listen to music. So I don't know any of these famous people, but she was just saying that she was so happy that she was able to exercise her right to an abortion, her constitutional right, which, by the way, it's not a constitutional right. You can't find the word abortion in the Constitution. I don't care if the Supreme Court said that it's a constitutional right. They were wrong. If you were actually interpreting the Constitution as it was originally written, with the words of the intention that were written at the time, when you go back into English common law, they did not say that. So it's kind of like the progressive justice doctrine of the living, breathing Constitution. In other words, we will just interpret it to mean whatever we want it to mean right now.
Yeah, they do that. I mean, that's what they do. They do it with all of them. And it's just whoever is going to pay the most to get whatever you want across. And so that's the issue that we have.
Why having people in unchecked power positions that have no accountability makes no sense.
No, well, I mean, technically it makes perfect sense, because we know what what's driving behind it. But for us as the average day citizen, it makes absolutely no sense how they're running this into the ground. It's brutal.
And what's terrible about it too is that it's always the people that are good in politics, like the Ron Pauls, or people that support term limits that just end up, because they don't want to be a career politician. It's always the people that actually don't want to be power hungry and they're not seeking power to be a lifetime politician. They end up don't keeping their positions of power and they leave. And so it's always the power hungry people that are always there and staying there forever. And we always have because even what I love is I think it would be such a great requirement, which it would never happen. But, George Washington, like, didn't want to be president. He had to be like talked into it. Like, imagine like what a good requirement for like the American founding principles is having your president be someone that doesn't want to rule over you, that does not want to be president, which is what George Washington was. And I love that idea for a model of a president, which would never happen today. Even if you're a great person today, to have the guts to have to stand up in today's political climate, God, put your family through that too. It's not even just you. You have to think about everyone that it affects.
Yeah.
You better hope never do anything bad.
Yeah, that's why I'm not running for office.
I don't have an interest in running for office either.
None at all. I will sit right here. Yeah, I'll sit right here and put all these other people on. Let them run for office. Promote them. I would do a fundraise for them. I'll do everything I can to push them in. But hard pass.
I agree with you. I have no inclination of wanting to run. I just want to be able to say what I want to say. And I don't want to tailor my message to. And there's nothing wrong with that. I get that's how you win. But I would want to win because the people there love me for me and want what I have. Like, not because if this focus group found out that this policy and this wording really works with them. No, either my wording works for them or it doesn't. That's how I feel. And I don't really want to. Again, I have no interest in having power. So it's always the people that would actually do good with it as much as you could, meaning rolling it back, that never want these positions.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. I'll say this. We are seeing a lot of libertarians and independents and anarchists across the country winning on a local level.
Yes.
And that's very important. And they have a heart for it. But my position on the federal stuff is that if you want to play the game, you got to be in the league. And so I'm not trying to be a part of that league
now. Like Dave Smith. It's an interesting debate, the libertarian strategy, but there are a lot of like full anarchists that will say you're being morally inconsistent for running for office or getting involved with the political process. And okay, but this is the reality we live in today. So either we try to get a little bit more liberty for people or we don't,
Yep. What's the difference between a libertarian and an anarchist?
Libertarian, well, it's kind of like a minarchist, right? Ayn Rand still wants a constitutional government to protect your rights. She says that you can't actually have capitalism unless you have a government to protect it, because if there's someone that's really poor, right, and someone steals their property, the government's supposed to say, well, you can't just steal, that's wrong, and it would hold them accountable, where it's not perfect, but it's, if you have a full anarchist society, it's might be more difficult for someone that has no money to actually protect their own selves. So there's some sort of it's like a Night's Watchman type government.
Yeah.
The only functions are just to preserve life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So it's the only function is to make sure that no one else infringes on you and your life. It's not involved in the economy. Well, it depends. There's different levels of libertarianism. There's some libertarians that still support taxes. I think all taxation is theft. And I know it is. Again, it is. But so that it's different. There's different, everyone thinks that they're the only true libertarian. But, what do you think? Did I answer that correctly? Or do you have any points to add?
No, I will actually, because that is a joke, actually. What's the difference between a libertarian and an anarchist?
Well, it depends. Right, because, I know, because Dave Smith's an anarchist, but he also calls himself a libertarian. So people have different definitions of libertarian.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
I was listening in Spotify today. You had the guy from Reason Magazine. I know his name, and I'm going to drop it. And Spike was in there. And it was really good. And that guy was like, we're libertarians. We're not anarchists. We still believe in some government. And
the Reason people do, for sure. They definitely have more of they're not like woke, but they are kind of a little bit more woke than definitely the paleo libertarians and the Mises Institute people. Austrian economics. That's what I identify with. That's what I'm drawn to. It makes so much sense to me. I get really annoyed at conservatives will even say this too, but woke libertarians, liberals, they'll say, oh, the capitalists and stuff, or the libertarians that only care about private property, they just are so selfish and that's all they care about is their money. I'm like, no, private property is so much more than money. It's like, it can go into everything. It's you attain your private property through your labor and hard work. So, and then you just don't want that stolen from you. So it's simple. It's not just me keeping my wealth. I remember in high school, I used to get very annoyed because my friends at lunch would always say, want parts of my lunch. And I was like, I brought this for me. Like, I don't want your lunch. But they would say, I'm selfish for not wanting to give them my food, and stop being crazy. Just share it. Like, you bring your own food. You know what you want, bring it. I know what I want. I would never try to take it from you. But it's the same exact principle. And those types of things growing up would always annoy me, still annoy me to this day. I always grew up with my dad always just talking about the government, complaining all the time. And now that I read more philosophy on it, I'm like, wow, these little situations that really weren't like political, had some philosophy behind it, just don't take my lunch, it's annoying, really do tie into that. And it's all tied into private property. This is I mean, I didn't earn it because I was a child, but it's my stuff that someone's telling me I'm selfish for not wanting just to give it to them. Like, somehow it's not selfish for you to think that you are entitled to it.
Oh, that's absolutely selfish to think that you're entitled to somebody else's fruits of their labor. There's no question. That's entitlement is a cancer.
Yes.
It's a character cancer.
Envy. People are so envious of people that are rich. These billionaires. Oh my God, they're just so envious, and they just assume that everything's great and that they, anyone that's succeeding in business is exploiting someone else, as if when these corporations grow, you're hiring more people. You're actually, and when you lower the corporate tax, they can actually pay their employees more, which is more money in the pockets of the people. That's why when you have lower taxes, the federal government ends up taking in more money because there's more people paying into taxes. Yeah. Math, which women can't do. I've been told that someone mansplains this to me so I can regurgitate it on command. But
it's funny. Oh man. So I've been accused not accused, that's the wrong word, but I've been labeled with stoicism, I guess, a stoic person, about when you're talking about these people that are so envious of these billionaires. I'm just like, I just don't care. That I have my life to deal with.
Same. That's how I feel. Honestly, I'm happy to see success for other people, and I'm not envious. I'm like, if anything, it motivates me. Like, if I were to see, you always know if you can't trust a friend if they seem uncomfortable with your success. That's a real huge red flag. If anything, it motivates me to want to do better, and I just look at it as a motivating factor. Why is everything? People are just so jealous, and they don't want to actually do the hard work that it takes in order to get to certain places, and they just want to complain and then act like they're entitled and steal from people and justify theft.
Yeah.
Through a government monopoly.
So I got to ask you, this actually just popped into my mind just now. You are a vegan. You got a vegan farm. You got a ton of animals, and you live in New York City.
And go back and forth.
And Connecticut, yeah. Have you talked to Stacey Pressman?
Wait.
She's a libertarian running for New York City mayor. She's a huge animal rights activist.
Well, let me see. So there's some people, maybe if I were to see them on Twitter. Stacey
Pressman, Pruss man.
Oh, okay. So I actually don't follow her. It's weird.
That is crazy.
I've actually talked to a few animal rights, female libertarians, which is so weird. But no, not her. I just followed her.
She's she's stand-up comic as well.
Oh, as well.
Well, as well as Dave Smith.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
We're talking about me? Hell no.
Yeah.
No, I feel like I've seen her profile before, but I don't know why I was not following her yet. We'll see. That's interesting though.
Yeah, y'all two should hook up and connect for sure.
I'm not a lesbian.
That's not what I meant. But that was a great answer. Kevin told me you were funny. That's hilarious. Oh yeah. No, she's a huge animal rights activist, big time. Yeah, she's running the mayoral race. Yeah, for sure.
Maybe I'll have her to come visit my farm in Connecticut.
Yeah.
A lot of animals.
Yeah. Well, on your way out, do me a favor and punch D Ozio right in the throat. Because wow.
Oh, I realized I was like, who? I'll try. I
actually went on a rant about him on my solo show Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was a welcome to my TED Talk scenario. I do a segment when I go by myself. It's called Kick Rocks. And so
oh, that's good. Don't kick rocks. That's good. I like that. I like that. Clever.
Your mayor got the Kick Rock segment this week because he pissed me off real bad. Him eating the hamburger with the vaccinations.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh my God. Go back and watch the clip. It's brutal.
Oh my God. It's so gross it's scary how much these people in politics are trying to push the vaccine. It's just so weird. They're trying to get companies to push it. It's very creepy.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, that's what he was doing. He was they're giving free burgers and fries for vaccinations. And
That's not shocking. My friend had to go, so he doesn't have health insurance, and he was sanding wood, a floor, got a huge splinter in his hand, like huge. And to get it removed, it would have cost him $300 because he didn't have insurance. But they said, if you get a COVID test, it will be free. So he did. And he was like trying not to get tested because he didn't want to be put on like Cuomo's tracking list.
Yeah.
So he was like trying, like, this was like somewhat recently. So he's spent this entire time without getting tested, avoided going to certain events because he didn't want to have to get the test because he would be on a tracking list. But they were like, well, this would cost $300, but if you get the test so we can track you in the system, then we can give it to you for free, which is creepy.
That's incredibly terrible. If you have to bribe people to do stuff, it's not a good idea.
Right. Good ideas don't require force.
No. Or bribery. I don't need some fat mouth sitting on TV trying to tell me, when I eat these burgers and fries, I think vaccinations are good. Oh my God, you got to watch the clip. It's incredible. He's literally eating the stuff, talking to us like we're children. And I don't even live in New York City.
God, that is so embarrassing.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't watch the clip, actually.
I know, one of those things that it could be a good thing to kind of just troll.
It'll be your next TikTok video for sure.
Yeah, TikTok. You can send TikTok.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna have to get more on Twitter. I have to see the pictures of your horses and guinea pigs.
Oh,
I got a bunch of horses.
Oh yeah, I have a bunch of horses. Yeah, and mini horses. I have like old racing horses that were rescued.
How'd you get into that?
My mom and I just started it, I think, in 2017 with just chickens because we both just liked animals, and then from there it just grew naturally. So we ended up having to get like another property because we had a big backyard, but not enough obviously for 200 plus animals. So we got a property that was 10 minutes away from our house with over 35 acres of land, and now that's just it's a whole other world there.
That's incredible. You got any reptiles besides Newsom?
Yeah, we actually have. So we have an iguana.
Nice.
And we have she's a chameleon. Olivia. Her name's Olivia. So is my sister's name. And then we also I don't this is gonna sound stupid. I don't think tortoises and turtles are considered are they reptiles?
No, technically they're just amphibians.
Amphibians? Okay, that's what I was thinking about. I was like, is that a frog? So I also have tortoises and turtles. I also have like chinchillas, old lab rats, sugar gliders, emus, peacocks, ducks, geese, peacock. I mean, like just mini horse. I mean, we have pigs. We don't have cows. It's like the one thing I feel like we don't have. We don't have alpacas, which I really want. We really want capybaras, but you need like some special license for them. They're like the largest rodent. So that's like a giant guinea pig with webbed feet, like a duck.
You ever been to the South? Deep South in the swamps where I'm from, Louisiana?
No.
You ever heard of a nutria rat?
No.
Google a nutria rat. It's probably the same. It's probably the cousin of what you're talking about. It is a massive rodent. It's like 3 times the size of a beaver.
Oh my God, so cute.
Yeah, we actually eat them, but only if they're overpopulated. I say we, I mean my culture. I do not eat nutria rat. Hard pass.
Okay. Talking this collectivist language got me as a libertarian all confused.
No, I like regular food, I guess. Not really. I'm Cajun, but I'm not going to eat rats. I can't do that. Nope.
Well, good point. Maybe they'll eat you one day.
Hey, they can have it. If I don't donate to science, the rats can have the body. I don't need this shit.
I used to always say when I die, like, I hope I get eaten by an animal, so at least my body goes somewhere. It's totally off topic, but I just always think like it's such a weird. I would never want to get buried because are we just gonna keep getting more graveyards? Like just keep going? Like we're not taking them away ever. We're never just gonna keep adding.
Yeah, I guess so. That's a good point.
Cremate me. My parents are like, you want to be cremated? That's so creepy. I'm like, I'm dead.
Yeah, who cares?
What? Like, who cares? Why are we going to take up a whole space that's so much more expensive to fill up the ground that I won't even know I'm there?
Yeah. No, yeah. For a rotting corpse, that's just going to turn to ash.
Yeah.
Anyway, dust. Yeah, now there is always, now we talked about this in Clubhouse, and we'll I'm not going to get off into this kind of a running joke, but we did toss around the idea of wholesome voluntary cannibalism. And so
I mean, if you're
if you
voluntarily choosing to do it, you can do it.
and it's eco-friendly, right? No more dead bodies in the ground. Like, you dictate how you want your body served up, and you tell us what you want us to eat first, and then there you go. It's
I
healthy.
mean, I would do that. Like I said, I wish that I could have a family member give my dead body to an animal to eat, but they probably would not be able to bear the sight of that. But it makes sense to me. Like, I would rather it be used than I would rather my body be used as a resource than have to use resources to just do what with my body.
Yeah, hard agree on that one. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
always just figured I'd donate mine. First of all, I'm already an organ donor. Take what you need, please.
My mom, so she's a registered nurse, and she's like, do not do organ donor, because if you ever are like kind of like on the edge of dying, and they might be like, we could really use those organs.
Yeah, well, it might be a good way to go out. Who knows?
Honestly, yeah. But I'm just saying, my mom, she's like, do not be an organ donor.
That's crazy. I would have never thought. I've never heard
Like,
that.
not under my roof.
So that's anti-science, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like we talked about beforehand. So anyway, I know you probably got to get to work, and we're out of time here. So, but this is very awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna run over there just for a little bit. If you got some time, then please join us. If not, I totally understand. I know you just started a new job, and so
Yes.
no pressure at all. My mom's chiming in with something. We'll get to those comments later. That's a great comment right there. It says off topic, but it's a great win. The following info was gotten via the Epoch Times. The Supreme Court unanimously rejected Biden admin arguments in a case from Rhode Island that police should be. Oh yeah, I already knew that. Yeah. Very good Supreme Court ruling. Anyway, sorry, got distracted there. You probably have a lot to say on that. We're only like at an hour, and I know you got to get to work or get to bed. I know I got to get to bed here soon. So thank you very much. This is so much fun. You were awesome.
Thank you for having me on. It was such a great time talking to you. Very natural, fun conversation. So it was great meeting you. Get on Twitter.
Right? Yep. I will be there. I'm absolutely taking your advice. I'm going to just start tweeting random nonsense.
Yep. Literally. Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. I will talk to you very soon.
All right. Have a great night. Bye.
Bye. All right, y'all. Awesome conversation. You may not agree with everything she said. That's all right. The goal is still the same. A lot of fun with that conversation right there. Really, really, really a lot of fun. I'm trying to get to, there we go. So anyway, we got to keep it going. We got to have more people on like Isabella, more people on like Spike, Donald Rainwater, Sasha Cohen, Larry Sharp. I mean, the list is on and on. I'm not going to keep running my mouth here. We're at an hour, and I know that's probably the max. Absolutely. And so I'm going to get off of here. We're going to get into Clubhouse. Like I said, you guys are amazing. We finished that fundraiser event. For me, that was for me to get to Tunica, and we're past that. So thank you so much. That is absolutely incredible. From here, for the next couple of episodes, everything you donate will go to the food drive that we're going to set up for that Tunica event. It's not just going to be food. Sorry, toiletries, whatever that ministry needs. It's for drug and alcohol addicts and people trying to recover. Most of them homeless. Just the whole lifestyle that we want to help. So every penny counts. Every penny matters, because I personally know that ministry. I worked for them, and I know they're one of the larger ministries in this state for that. They are completely nonprofit. The students do not pay $1 to get in. And we are going to put together that. I'm going to go ahead and start the fundraising over the next couple of shows. Starting tonight, everything you donate to the show is going to go to canned goods, rice, beans, toilet paper, toothbrush, all that fun stuff that those guys and gals need. There's a men's and a women's ministries. I'm wanting to take all of our donations and split them down the middle. One half go to the men, one half go to the ladies, and try to help those organizations that are doing phenomenal things out. I love y'all very much. I will see you Friday with Natalie Bruno running for governor of Oklahoma. I'm loving Oklahoma. They love me very much. So with that being said, I'll see you Friday night. Same Cajun time, same Cajun channel. I'm headed to Clubhouse, and I am out.